Namaste, good morning all. Welcome to your practice. Hope you're doing well. This is your foundation of Hatha class, the beginner accessible, beginner friendly practice. But also remembering there's often challenges dotted throughout to get you engaged with your practice, so please mindfully apply, no pressure or force. Be in a seated position if that's comfortable for you to maintain for a few moments. Alternatively, you can be in a lying down position or any position that's comfortable for you where you can maintain and focus on the breath with relative ease. If you're seated, lift your spine as best you can. Adopt a hand gesture or a mudra if you find it comfortable, whichever variation feels good. No matter where you are, eyes closed and the mouth closed. And we'll just take a few moments to really arrive and to create space for the practice. In an effort to redraw your awareness towards your practice and into your immediate surroundings, become aware of sound. Note all of the vibrations that arise from around you that you perceive as sound. And from this gentle connection to all of the sounds that arise from around you, check in through the physical body. How does the physical body feel as you come to your practice? You feeling strong, energetic, or anywhere in between? Any tension, any holding. Making a similar inquiry into the condition of the mind. And with this attuned awareness, softly bring the focus upon the breath. And we'll do so at the very center of the belly. Without trying to create, allow the breath to flow as best you can. And just witness and experience how the belly rises with the incoming breath. And how the belly falls with the outgoing breath. I'll continue with this attuned awareness for a few moments. A beautiful rhythmic response of the belly to the breath. If your mind begins to wander, be patient with yourself. Each time, just recognize it's gone. And softly bring it back. If you're seated, please do remain as you are. If you explored any other variation, just gently begin to stir, not suddenly pushing up. Take your time. Once you feel steady, seated position. If comfortable from here, Namaste mudra, palms to press in front of the chest as you take a moment to set an intention, a sankalpa, or dedication for your practice. Release your hands. Chin towards your chest. A few gentle blinks, opening up the eyes. Namaste. Now softly release the hands. We'll come front onto all fours. You can do so by sweeping your legs around, or you can raise your knees higher, tuck the heels a little further under, then come front. All fours, hands on the knees, unravel the legs behind. Setting up as best you can towards the forearms distance in between the knees, and then a forearms distance from the knees to the hands. But I do appreciate that this angle can create a challenge on the wrist, so if this is too close for you, hands further front as you need to, or you can play around making a fist. Note that you can take a rest at any moment throughout your practice, never fighting. So your wrists, your knees and your toes in a straight line as best you can, tops of the feet are grounded. Really spread the fingers. Imagining there's a point between the knees and likewise a point between the hands, moving around these points in small circles coming together in a figure of 8. We'll start with the lower limbs, start with the hips. Half a circle around the point between the knees. And then a full circle around the point between the hands. And bring together the bottom circle, come together in a figure of 8 or a sideways infinity symbol. Continue with this soft and steady motion. Just allow your breath to flow. The lips are together and the breath's flowing in and out through the nose. Can you keep your palms fully engaged as you move towards and around and away and around? Can you keep your thumbs spread in particular? changing direction. Once you've completed your current rotation, changing direction, little challenge in the coordination, you start with slower, smaller rotations, and you build towards bigger, more exaggerated rotations. What do you feel? You keep the palms grounded, the arms working relatively straight. Beautiful, back to center. Dropping the head down, note that your toes are still in line with the knees. If the toes have come together, you can work from this position, but a little practice you're working with that toe to knee alignment. Your next exhale, without disturbing the position of the hands too much, bend at the knee. The intention is sitting back and heel, but you could be before it. Keep the arms straight as you inhale, endeavour to return back up to your original position. Exhale, pushing back. Inhale, raising up. Exhale, pushing back. Inhale, pushing up. Keep the chin in a mild double chin, mindful you're not extending front. Your next exhale, pushing back. Inhale, elevating up. Feels good, same mood, but tuck the toes, but no fight. Exhale, pushing back with toes tucked. Inhale, elevating up. Exhale, pushing back. Inhale, pushing up. Exhale, pushing back. If it feels good, mindfully apply and maintain it here for a moment, and if it's very comfortable, we'll include a little sway side to side, just loading the toes to differing degrees. If this is challenging on your toes or your ankles, please mindfully apply, untuck the toes perhaps, and maybe avoid the sway. Just pushing back is beautiful work. Then with the rest of the sway, if you venture there, your next inhale will elevate back up and untuck the toes if they were tucked. A few rounds of your tiger breathing, that movement through the spine. As you work, we'll intend to keep the shoulders in the position they're in now, so you're trying to avoid that swaying back motion. Move with your breath as best you can, but breathe as necessary, no force. Head is last thing to move. As you inhale, arch through the lower back, so feel and perceive your belly working towards the mat. Your middle back, your upper back, and lightly lift the head. Draw your shoulder blades down towards your hips. As you exhale around your lower back, head is last thing to release, your middle back, your upper back, then releasing the head, and note that your shoulders are still in the original position you started with. As you inhale, the lower back, the middle back, the upper back, slightly lift the head but no pressure on the neck. Exhale around. Inhale out. Exhale around. Be there for a moment if comfortable. Shoulders still over the wrist. Push away the mat lightly. Belly drawn. Head is released. Feel and breathe just for a moment. Beautiful. Next inhale back to that easy spine. Gaze slightly fronted and mild arch of the lower back. The knees and the feet come together. Note we have many variations. The first such option is sitting back on the heels, sitting tall in Vajrasana. We're going to be here for a moment. If you're leaning front, away from sitting all the way back on the heel, it's a suggestion you need to maybe adopt another variation. Such options will be high on the knees or any seated variation. Choose a position where you can lift the spine. Maybe in this instance, come to a seated position on the ground rather than being tall on the knees. Hands out to either side, whether you are as I am in Vajrasana or a cross-legged position. If you have challenge or fatigue in the shoulders, maybe you have your hands on the side. It's a simple side fold you're working with. Feels good, we'll introduce work from the shoulders. Next inhale, raise your right arm if it feels good. Smoothly extend it. As you exhale, fold to your left, whether the arm is extended or not. Inhale smoothly back. Exhale, release the right. Inhale the left. Exhale, fold to your right. Inhale back. Exhale, release. Inhale the right arm. Exhale, fold to your left side. Keep the gaze ahead. Inhale back. Exhale, release. Inhale left. Exhale, fold. Inhale back. Exhale, release. Inhale right. Really extend it, but draw the shoulder down the back. Exhale, fold. Inhale back. Exhale, release. Inhale left. Exhale. you're in Madrasana, you can raise straight up onto your knees. If you're in a cross-legged position, sweeping around and come tall on your knees. Take your knees to be as wide as your hips, not a little wider. Hands can come to your hips, you can take them behind, however, and go for a classic wrist or form. Feels good. Full rotation through the neck, but no pressure or force. Small rotation as you need to. Drop your chin towards your chest, allow your breath to flow. With the chin down, allow it to glide past your right collarbone, reaching for your shoulder. Then lift your chin up to the ceiling, but note you're not leaning back through the chest, just lifting head and neck. Draw a circle on the ceiling to your left. Drop the chin down past the left shoulder to collarbone, the base of the throat. Reverse directions to your left, the chin past the left collarbone, shoulder, lift the chin, no pressure on back to side of neck. Draw a circle on the ceiling. Slowly breathe as you rotate through to your right. Drop the chin down past the collarbone, base of throat. Once you've arrived, gaze straight ahead. Draw your chin straight back in a double chin. Glide your face front into your phone. Double chin. And be there for a moment in the chin tuck. Breathe really well. Beautiful. Low, come lightly front. Release the arms if they're behind or on the hips. Hand support if you need to as you come up. Perhaps you step one leg front. Make sure the heel toe is grounded. The heel isn't elevated. Tuck the back toes. Then push the feet away from each other and smoothly come up. But take the time. No rush. Once you're up, we'll turn towards the long edge of the mat. I will intend to set the feet 3.5 to 4 foot apart. This is quite a generous distance and you can start with shorter, but if it feels good, work towards the wider. Heels are in line, feet are parallel, ribs are back and down. Extend the arms to point. You can bring them up straight out in front and drop them halfway down, so you know we're 45 degrees. Moving from the shoulder will be perceived as moving from the bicep. The hands will flip, but think more moving from the bicep. Extra challenge. Arms going opposite direction. Allow your breath to flow as necessary. Taking longer, steadier breaths and checking in that your shoulders are moving while the biceps are moving. Turning in the shoulder. Beautiful. Being at this angle, but if it feels good, out to the side of the shoulders, still pointing down. Beautiful. Very comfortable. You come up to shoulder height. But note the response. Keep breathing. Beautiful. Come to rest with the movement, palms face down. Release your hands on your thighs for a brief moment. Roll out your shoulders in one direction. And then the other direction. Shoulders free. Any challenge in the shoulder or the neck? Work with hands on the thighs. If it feels good, we'll raise the arms. Just like we were a brief moment ago when we were in a seated position. Sternum back, spine is lifted as you inhale, raise your right arm up. Shoulder height, flip the palm. Arm in line with you as best you can, but shoulder blade works down the back. Ribs are back. As you exhale, smoothly fold to your left. Inhale, smoothly back. Exhale, release. Smoothly release. Inhale the left, raise shoulder height, flip the palm. Arm in line with the ear. Exhale, fold to your right. Inhale back. Exhale, release. Super. So you can work with this variation, hands coming from the thighs. Feels good, we'll work with both arms working from shoulder height. Inhale the right palm, flip the palm, arm in line with the ear. Exhale, fold to your left. Inhale back. Exhale, release. Shoulder height, flip the palm. Inhale the left, flip the palm, arm in line with the ear. Exhale, fold to your right. Inhale back. Exhale, release. Inhale the right. Exhale, fold. Inhale back. Exhale, release. Inhale left. Exhale, fold. Inhale back. Exhale, release. Release the hands for a brief moment. The arms are shoulder height. Roll your shoulder one direction, and then the other. Shoulders free. Beautiful. Feels good. We'll work a little step further. You can, however, stay with this variation. Feels good. Extend the arms shoulder height. Bring your awareness to your feet. Turn your left toes in a little. Try not to disturb the heel. Likewise with your right. Turn the right toes out a lot, however. Pivot on the heel. Turn the toes towards the front edge of the mat. Look at your back hip. Draw the left hip back so the back of the hips are against the imaginary wall behind you. Your ribs are back and down, and the shoulders, the back of the shoulders are against the imaginary wall behind you. Feels good here. Turn the gaze to the right hand. Palms to face front. Still good. Without disturbing this beautiful alignment you've created. As you exhale, fold to your right from your waist. Folding from your waist, you're only folding to the point that you can maintain the hip open, the shoulder open, the sternum back. Very steady, no trace of dizziness. Turn the gaze towards the left hand, but no strain on the neck. Feel and breathe. Just a few steady breaths. The left hip, that's the back hip, slightly drawing back. No pressure on the right knee. Beautiful. Next inhale, come all the way up. As you exhale, palms face down. Feet back to parallel. Release your hands to your thighs for a moment. Rolling over your shoulders. That beautiful work through the shoulders. Strength being created through the shoulder and the neck region. Super. Return the shoulders back to shoulder, or the arms and shoulders back to shoulder height. Turn the right toes in a little now. Slight angle as best you can. Turn the left toes out to a good degree. Draw your right hip back now. Hips squaring straight line across. Sternum back. Shoulders straight line across. Gaze to your left hand. Palm to face front. As you exhale now, fold to your left from your waist. Not necessary to fight for depth. Know to the degree we can maintain that beautiful opening. If it's comfortable for your neck, softly gaze towards the right hand. Each side can be different. Feel and breathe. Inhale smoothly up. Exhale, palms to face down. Feet back to parallel. Then release your hands and let rolling on the shoulders one direction and the other. Shoulders free. Walk or step your feet back together. Turning towards the short edge of your mat and coming towards the front, whichever you call the front for yourself. Feet shoulder distance apart. Being a foot's distance or a little more from the front of the mat. Feet shoulder distance or wider. Back bending forward folding. We're always mindful any challenge in the back of the body to take care of the depth you come in. Likewise any dizziness. Mindful of the depth you fold. A slow and controlled movement. Hands around the thighs will maintain a bend in the knees throughout. As you inhale, smoothly raise the arms. Any degree, if you can in line with the ears. Tuck the pelvis under slightly, buttock muscle lightly engaged. A very slight back bend. Keep the gaze a little upward, not all the way to the ceiling. Your next exhale, push the bum a little back. Keep the bend in the knee. Hinge front from the front of the hip. Choose an appropriate depth, swing the arms perhaps and release the head if there's no dizziness. Inhale, a good bend in the knee. Push through the feet. Keep the bend in the knees. Come all the way up. Tuck the pelvis. Gentle back bend. Exhale, working front. Breathe as much as you need to if you can coordinate. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Where do you feel no pressure on the lower back or the neck? Exhale. Inhale. Keep the bend in the knee. Feel your practice. On the exhale, we'll really slow it down as we come front. Sternum is held a little back, hinging from the hip. Swing the arms and release the head. And on the inhale, we will maintain the forward fold, but softly release your arms. If your hands come with ease to the mat, they're welcome to be there. If they're up off the mat, that's beautiful work too. Choose a depth that's appropriate for you. Have a look with your knees. If your knees are leaning towards your toes, can you sit back to where your knees are more over your ankle? If necessary, be higher. Hands supporting the thighs if it's very challenging to fold past parallel, don't fight. Release the head and release the neck. Beautiful. Next inhale, lift the head slightly. And bring your hands to your shins if that's accessible, but if required, you can be on your thighs. Have a look at your knees. If your knees are still leaning towards your toes, maybe you need to straighten your legs a little. Then can you lean back as if you were seeking a high chair behind you to where your knees or over your ankles. Now your hands can be on your thighs or they can remain on the shins, but it's very comfortable. Bring your hands in front of your chest. And as you exhale, begin to bend the knee even further. You're bending the knee to the point that you can maintain the knee over the ankle and work your thigh towards parallel. It may be higher, and this is okay too, but checking in through knee to ankle. Straight line. You may already recognize the beautiful reaction in the thighs, inner groin, lower belly. Just a few steady breaths. You're already halfway there. You're never fighting. The challenge is welcome, but no force. Release your hands, fingertips to the mat or on your shins. And a little sway side to side. You straighten your legs a little further and push your hips side to side. Super. Come to rest with the sway. Bend your knees as much as you need to get the fingertips or maybe it's your palms in front of your feet so you know that shoulder distance. Then keeping your feet in this lining, but walk your feet towards the back of the mat. Adho Mukha Svanasana, the downward dog. The good distance between the hands and the feet. If there's any challenge in the back of the body or the shoulder or the wrist, work on bending the knees quite generously and creating length in the spine. If it feels good and you've practiced, you can work towards straighter legs. Sternum is held a little back. The gaze is straight down and the crown of your head is pointing directly in between the hands. Feel and breathe. Spread the fingers. Beautiful. Next exhale, knees as wide as your mat if you can, working towards that distance. Big toes together and then sitting back on the heel. You can have the arms extend out in front and the forehead to the mat, but if necessary, stack palms or stack fists to support the head. Feel and breathe for a few moments in the resting warrior. If your arms are fully extended out in front, push away the mat lightly. If your head is resting on top of your hands, extend both arms front. And then have a look front. The head is slightly lifted no matter which variation you're in. We're going to maintain the distance between the hands and the feet. And we're going to go for a little flow between where we are now and the variation of the tiger breathing. If you have any challenge in the shoulders, I'll encourage you to come quite high as you come front. If all is well through the shoulder and the neck region, I'll encourage you to challenge yourself with coming a little lower. We'll go nice, slow and steady through a few rounds. As you inhale, gaze is front, come front as low as you can. You'll note that your elbows will want to point out, point of the elbow out towards the outer edge of the mat. Can you hug the elbows in towards each other so they're pointing straight back? As low as you can. Shoulder over the wrist and exhale, straighten the arms. Release the head and round the spine, push away the mat. As you inhale, low as you can as you come front. If necessary, come high. Try to have the elbows pointing straight back, shoulders over wrist, straighten the arms, exhale, pushing back. Inhale, low as you can as you come front. Exhale, pushing back. Keep the ribs drawn up as you come front. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, high if necessary. Keep the palms firmly grounded. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Beautiful. Next inhale as you come front. Straighten the legs out behind so your toes come in line with the knees. And we're going to sweep all the way front onto the belly. But don't fight. Come front whichever way is necessary. Once you've arrived, bring your feet together, toes and heels to touch. And if it's comfortable for you, slide your hands back either side of the chest. Fingers are spread, elbows point up towards the ceiling, and I also hug in a little towards the body. Feet together, toes and heels the intention, buttock muscle, base of pelvic lightly engaged. Remember the lift comes from the lower back, there's a slight tuck in the pelvis. As you inhale, you smoothly raise through the chest, raise the head and roll the shoulder. As you exhale, softly lower down. Inhale, roll the shoulder lightly, the head elevates, upper back, middle back, lower back. Exhale, releasing down, no fight for height. Inhale, smoothly raise. Exhale, release. Inhale, rest. Exhale, release. Inhale, rest. Feels good. Mindfully apply, maintain it there for a moment. Any challenge on the neck, drop the chin as you need to. Shoulders roll lightly open, creating space in the front of the chest. Base of pelvic and buttock muscle engaged. Your lower body is active. This is supporting the deep lower back where the lift is originating. Beautiful. Exhale, coming down. Pressurize the hands lightly into the mat. Please do take care as you bend at the knee. Sitting back on the heel, but you're welcome to be up off the heels if necessary. Ground the elbows, heel the palm together, cradling the face. If this is challenging to cradle the chin with the gaze slightly front, drop your gaze so it's pointing directly down, and maybe you're cradling either side of the temple, close to the ears. A few steady breaths in variation on Shashankasana, the child's pose. Beautiful. Elevating your head a little out of the hands, so then you can release the hands. Then drop the head. If you're sitting on the heels, you can use hand support if you're not sitting on the heels, but if you are sitting on the heel, as you inhale, gently begin to roll up through each and every vertebrae. Use a little hand support to come up if required. Don't force. Smoothly coming to Vajrasana, only going to be here for a brief moment. And if this is accessible, we'll sit tall or stand tall on the knees, and the knees come wider, about hip distance apart, toes come along also. Few steps, or one smooth step, step the right foot front. A good distance, so your knee is before or over your ankle, looking in, checking your alignment. Your heels to the toes are connecting firmly with the mat. Then look at your left hip, which is your back leg, and back, both hips, smoothly back. The right leg, the front leg can straighten to where your hip is over your knee. Furthermore from here, tuck the pelvis under, but the spine remains lifted. The gaze is front, chin is mild double chin. With the pelvis tucked, begin to push the hip front slightly to the point that you can maintain it tucked. Once you feel that the pelvis begins to tilt front, you know you've gone too far and the sensation will dissipate from the front of the thigh. So backing up as required, tucking the pelvis, feel the opening in front of the thigh to top of the hip, then lightly push front. And breathe. Few steady breaths. And if your chest is leaning back after pushing the hip front, bring the chest forward to it. So you're keeping the bottom rib over the top of the hip. You can be as you are, but if you're mindfully challenging, my apologies I never mentioned, but if there's any sensitivity in the left knee, double over the mat as you need to. Right hand to the right hip, left hand to the thigh. Please be mindful of the balance. As you inhale, there's a little lift. As you exhale, there's a gentle twist through the waist. You keep the hips in that squaring position across so the hips don't come, the left hip doesn't come front. Keep it squaring, straight line across, and a gentle twist to your right. Mindful of the balance. Focus on a point. Keep the pelvis tucking under lightly. Beautiful. Inhale smoothly back. One smooth step, a few steps as you need to, the right back to meet the left. And take care, step the left leg front. No rush. The entire foot is rounded, the knees over or before the ankle. This is good. Create a straight line across the front of your hips and back your hips up. So it's your right hip now, it's the back leg. Supporting the knee if there's any sensitivity with double over mat. Once you've got the straight line across the hip and the hip is over the back knee, tuck the pelvis under. Then you're pushing front to the point that you can maintain the pelvis tucked. Gaze is ahead, chin and mild double chin. Feel and breathe here for a moment. Reaction in the front of the right thigh now. Beautiful. Without disturbing much, keeping a straight line across the front of the hips, the spine lifted, left hand outside the left hip, right hand outside to the left thigh. Inhale, straight a little taller, exhale, twist a little deeper. Using the muscles of the waist to twist, rather than using the strength of the arms to draw you around. Keep the spine lifted, sternum back, pelvis slightly tucked. Just play. Beautiful. Inhale smoothly back. If you're just playing around and it's accessible, hands either side of the left foot, tuck even the right toes, lift the knee, scooch or slide or walk the left back to meet the right. Maybe need of increasing the distance between the hands and the feet to explore the full depth of the downward dog. Spread the fingers, torso back towards the thighs. If you're unsure the distance for the correct for downward facing dog, for a brief moment bring your shoulder over your wrist, but don't fight if there's any challenge to the lower back. And you want a straight line from your heel all the way to the head. If necessary, increase the distance between the hands if your hips were pitched up towards the ceiling. Then push back to the downward dog. As you push back, mind if you're not leading with your ribs, keep the sternum a little back, keep the ribs a little drawn. Spread the finger. Feel and breathe. Beautiful. A bend in the knees, the gaze is front. You're aware you can come front in whichever way is necessary for you. A little practice will have a right knee, right wrist, the shin is diagonal. The left shin or ankle stacks on top if accessible, but no fight. Then the intention is smoothly sitting back, coming into Sukhasana, the so-called easy pose. Although for some I know in the initial stages it can be challenging, so please mindfully apply. You can have one or both legs out in front as you need to. Spine is lifted, hands can be on the knees if you're feeling steady. If it's uncomfortable, hands behind, and you can gently lean away from the hips. If alternatively you can stack something underneath the bum so your hips are a little higher and creates a little greater ease to be here. A few steady breaths. Chin lightly drawn back. Beautiful. Now you can remain here, but if this is accessible, extend your legs front. Legs straight. If you have any challenge in the back of the body, current or previous, perhaps you're playing around with the feet, coming about mat width apart or a little less, and you can play around with bending the knees, and you can have the hand support behind you as you need to. Little practice, the legs work to being straighter. Further practice, you can explore a distance between the feet that's comfortable for you, where you can maintain a lifted spine. We'll take the hands behind and we'll actually walk the hands a good distance away initially, so we're leaning our torso away from the hips. Initially this may be a little easier to maintain. We'll be here for a moment. Check in with your feet. Are they dropping out to the side? Can you have your toes pointing towards the ceiling and your heels pushing away? Spine is lifted, shoulders a little rolled open. Breathe. Beautiful. Now you can maintain here. This is tremendous work. But if all is well, it's accessible to you. You're playing around with your practice. You walk your hands in a little closer. Now the intention from here is we're going to get a little twisted. Mindfully apply, particularly if there's any challenge in the back of the body or challenge in the neck. Take an inhale. As you exhale, place the left hand in front of the body, center in line with the breastbone. As you exhale, little twist to your right. Gaze slightly turns. Inhale back to center. Send the left hand behind now. Exhale to your left. The right hand comes in front. A little twist to your left. Inhale, center. Exhale to your right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Be there for a moment. We're not challenging the neck. The spine is lengthening as best you can. You can have a bend in the knees as required. Support at the back hand to keep you steady and lifted. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Using the muscles of the waist to create and generate the twist. Hands are just simply there for support. Try not to use the strength of the arms so far to draw you around further in this instance. Breathe. Inhale smoothly back. Take the hands underneath the knees, have a bend in the knees, bring the feet together. If you're not already on the short edge of your mat, I'll encourage you to scoot whichever way is best for you towards the short edging of your mat, towards the front edge of that mat. Middle finger next to the thumb, grab the big toes. You can be here with the feet together, knees a little higher, and just work with lifting your spine. A little further practice, you can elevate one foot, be there, and then alternate to the other foot and maintain it there. And continue with this rhythm. Feels good, lift both feet 1/4 millimeter up off the mat. Then little higher, little higher, little higher. And then extend the legs apart. One direction, right to the right, left to the left. Spine is lifted, focusing on a point a little upward. You're breathing, and your shoulders up next to the ears. You draw the shoulder blades down the back, working towards the hip. Lengthen the breath. Beautiful. This is good. As you exhale, bring the feet together. You can ground the feet, but if it's comfortable, maintain the feet up. Having a quick look behind you, making sure there's nothing solid. And if there's any challenge in the back of the body, please mindfully come back. Feels good, chin to chest. Release the big toes as you inhale. Oh, just one rock back, but don't fight for it. Once you're on your back, a little rolling side to side. Beautiful. Come to rest with the light rolling. Hands down by the sides of the body. Keep the thighs in towards the chest. Chin, mild double chin. Back of the ribs connected, maybe a mild arch to the lower back. This feels good here. Let's slowly begin to cycle the legs. You can imagine you're cycling a tiny bike and it's in a very high gear. As you do cycle your bike, you note the reaction of your body. The back of the hips are grounded. Then north of that, just above the hips, there's a mild arch in the lumbar region, the lower back. As you come beyond the lower back and you head further up the spine, you note that the back of the ribs are grounded. Often we'll elevate up the ribs here as best you can, stabilizing through the rib cage by keeping the ribs down. I know it's a little challenging, but you work towards it. Likewise with the chin, mild double chin. If your tiny bike is responding well, you progress towards more of a mid-sized bike, but you're still in that high gear, no low gears. So it's real slow and steady. As it becomes more challenging, rather than go faster, go slower. Feel. Beautiful. Now if all is responding well with your medium-sized bike, you can begin to extend towards a larger bike. But please mindfully apply if you have any challenge in the back of the body, lower back in particular. As you drop the leg down, bring it close to the mat. And bring the heel, the thigh towards the chest by drawing the heel along the ground. But keep it up a little bit from the ground if you can. Slow and feel. Keep breathing. Base of pelvic. Lower the navel active. Beautiful. Then reverse the bike. Still on quite a large bike. In a high gear. Smoothly returning the bike to where you got it. Slowly and steadily. Beautiful. Stepping down to a more medium-sized bike. Keep breathing. Notice where you feel it. Fronts of thighs, hip flexors, mind. Into your tiny bike. Beautiful. Next, exhale. Draw your thighs in towards your chest. Grab your legs. Comfortable for your neck. Head towards the knees. Roll the spine. Inhale. Release the head. Release the legs. Release and rest in Shavasana. End of your practice. Making all the adjustments to come into Shavasana. A very brief Shavasana at the end of your morning practice. Make all the adjustments that are necessary for you to a point where you can feel comfortable, you can feel held, and you can feel absolutely effortless. Any uncomfortable areas, readjust. Within this adjustment and within this release, notice there's nothing more required of you. End of your practice. As you come to the end of your practice, you're endeavouring to create space to welcome any changes, to step into effortlessness. And within this freedom that you're granting yourself, know that there's nothing more required of you. Simply by being here is more than enough. And within this allowing, within this freedom, set your attention free to move through your body and to simply witness, experience sensation, pulsing, vibration at toes, ankle, knees, thighs, whole and pelvic region, lower back, middle back, upper back, shoulder blades, belly, ribs, chest, fingers, wrists, elbows, shoulders, neck, chin, jaw, tongue, nose, eyes, ears, forehead, crown of the head, the whole body, the whole body. Feel the deep stillness and the deep rest that holds and occupies the whole body. The whole body is still. The whole of the body is rested. And as you allow the body to remain within this position of deep rest, but softly begin to extend your awareness beyond and through the body. As your awareness extends, allow it to begin to return to a more everyday awareness with a little ripple and movement in the fingers, the toes and the head and the neck. The feet together, the right arm up overhead and behind, left to the belly, full in the left leg and the right leg is straight. In your own time, roll to your right. And once you feel steady, eyes closed, little hand support, push up to any variation of a seated position. And as you come to the end of your practice, you take a moment to note any difference to the beginning of your practice. And gently drawing your palms together, rubbing your palms, just create a little heat. And softly place the hands over the eyes. And gently massage throughout the region of the face. Taking your hands a small distance away from your eyes. Gently blink your eyes open, gaze into your palms. Namaste. Thank you so much. I hope the rest of your day goes well. I look forward to seeing you in your next practice, whether it'll be virtually here online or whether it'll be in person for our open air sessions, and shortly we'll be indoor also. Have a lovely day. Thank you.